10 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. It is a Friday morning. It is the second to the last day of February 2026, and the time just keeps on flying by. 29 degrees is our current temperature here in Las Vegas. We have some early morning people on the YouTube side this morning. I don't see anybody yet on Facebook. Maybe they don't let you in early, but looks like YouTube lets you comment. Jeff from Alabama, man, you were really early this morning, Jeff. Jennifer, okay, Jennifer, you need to check your clock out, okay? Dana with us, he's in the church. He's in the church and he's working away. Ernie's with us this morning, and we are getting ready. Oh, Jody just showed up also on our YouTube side, LV Cornerstone Church, Facebook, LV Cornerstone, our radio station, which if you're out there, you can't comment, but you're out there anyway, so God bless you all. You can comment to God. 90.3 FM is where we are at. Big day, big day, big day here. Man, I wish Jody would come tonight. I wish I'd see Jody over here. We're going to have one view. Kathleen also. Yeah, we're going to have one view with the Highland students and different congregations here in town starting at 6 o'clock this evening. And we just might all sleep on the floor tonight. Exodus chapter 21 is where we are at on this 27th day of February. We are going to go to, let's see how I can do this without messing it up too much. How about this and how about that? There? Ooh, must be Friday. Whole week's worth of doing it wrong, and finally Friday comes around and we do it right. 12 minutes after the hour, 26th verse of the 21st chapter of the book of Exodus. We started talking at the beginning of this chapter yesterday about order. There has to be order. There has to be law. There has to be a penalty. If there's no penalty, then there's chaos. But we have this that God has given us. And as he's given us, he's speaking unto Moses at Mount Sinai to the people below. Now watch what a lot of the stuff that he's saying isn't really going to be applicable in my estimation until they get to Canaan land. They're going to be in the wilderness for 38 years longer than they need to be, but still they have just come out of Egypt. It has only been weeks that they have been out of Egypt, passed through the Red Sea, gone through the bitter water, the bread falling from heaven, the battle against the Amalekites, and then they end up over here at Mount Sinai. So they're going to stay at this area around Mount Sinai for quite a while. It's not going to be just a pack it up and go overnight camping type of situation. Okay? So, but a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about and we talked about in the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd chapter to come next week is going to be more pertinent when they get into Canaan land. But there's always has to be order. And you get 2 million people together in the wilderness, and even though they're circumcised and they're been baptized into Moses and they're hearing God from heaven, there has to be order in the system. And I know that personally, I don't like order until I need order. I mean, and that's my rebellious nature. Sorry, but sometimes you just need it. So we were talking about these. Verse 26, maybe we'll finish off the chapter this morning and then get into chapter 22 and head that off for Monday. But to let you know is that on Fridays, we kick off our program at regular time, 6:10, and we finish a few minutes before 7 o'clock. If a man strikes the eye of his male or female servant and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. Now, we talked about servants yesterday. And George came to my rescue yesterday big time because it's very uncomfortable to talk about servants. What do you mean you buy a guy? What do you mean you buy a daughter for your son, or even for yourself as a concubine? Well, a little uncomfortable. And then George sent something to me. I think it was through text yesterday about, hey, the borrower is servant of the lender. Oh, and all of a sudden you say, well, maybe I do have a tie that I don't even realize that I have. Okay, good stuff. And then I think Jeff threw something else in there at the same time. Oh, Facebook is using. Thank you very much, Miss Chana. If a man strikes the eye of his male or female servant and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. What the heck are you doing? What are you doing hitting your employee to begin with? You see, and this is the way the law works. The law is there to restrain us. Okay. The law is there to show us our weakness, and that we can reach out for the strength that comes from above. That, Romans chapter 9. I think Jody had Galatians chapter 4 yesterday on the comments section. But also, if we are serious about the law, it's going to be a restraint to people. Are you with me this morning? It's going to be a restraint for people against the things that we're talking about this morning. If a man is striking his servants and getting away with it all the time, then everybody else is going to be doing it. But guess what? If somebody in your neighborhood would strike his servant, and then you would find out that, well, I thought that guy was indebted to my neighbor on the corner, and you say, yeah, but he struck him, destroyed his eye, and the servant is free. And you say, well, I'm going to start treating my servants better too. Do you understand the thought process that I have here? And I have a thought process, and I don't say my thought process is perfect and it's good. You figure it out for yourself. Good morning, Leroy Doty. Look at what Jody has for us there on 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For all, and I think if you are on YouTube, you can read all of the comments. Okay. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, Jody, this is, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. Wow. God is not the author of confusion. It brings order, and then God has a way of restraining us from our fleshly, getting out of control ways. And if we keep order, okay, that's why those guys with the red lights on the top of their roofs, that's what they're there for. But if we keep getting away with it all the time, everybody's going to get away with it, and then you have chaos. If he knocks out the tooth of his male or female servant, verse 27, he shall let him go free for the sake of his tooth. And you say, well, what's that all about? Let's treat everybody. How do we treat one another? Even a servant. How do we treat a servant? With dignity? Possibly. Well, I could see the eye, but the tooth, would just take him to the dentist and they can put a replacement on there and drill it into. If he knocks out a tooth of his male or female servant, shame on him. And if we know that there's retribution that is enacted in a fair and equitable way, it restrains us. Good morning, Maria. If an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall surely be stoned. If its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be acquitted. Okay, now the word ox, we don't got it. Well, we have bulls and cows and stuff like that. So Kathleen knows all about this, okay? Because she loads them on the trailer sometimes on Wednesdays. If an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall surely be stoned. So, there's a bull that has horns on it. Let's try to bring it into something that I can understand a little bit more from a meat cutter's perspective. If the ox gores a man, kill the ox. Its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be acquitted. So you don't blame the owner yet, not in this verse, but you kill the ox, but you don't eat its flesh. And if you know anything about uric acid and what it does to the meat, you would know you don't want to eat that meat also, okay? Side note. Okay? But the owner of the ox shall be acquitted. But if the ox tended to thrust with his horn in times past, and it has been made known to his owner, and he has not kept it confined, so that it has killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and the owner shall be put to death. So if I have a bull with horns on it, and he's been causing problems all over the place, and he's gotten close to hurting somebody before, and I know it, and I've not done anything about it, it's my fault. Verse 28, okay, that ox, he just went out of control. I don't know what happened, Maybe the corn that we were giving him was sour. I don't know. He flipped out on us, but nobody knew about it. But if the owner knows about it and he has not kept it confined so that it has killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned and its owner shall be put to death. So you say, dang, that's tough. Well, what happens is that the owner will know what the penalty is, and he'll take care of the ox ahead of time. Kind of reminds me, I used to go to Taos Ski Valley twice a week to go sell groceries. And was it Arroyo Hondo? No, it was around the Arroyo Seco area of Taos on the way to Ski Valley, to where this family, I guess, had this huge old bull. I mean, this bull was huge. I've seen a lot of big bulls in my. This was, but they had that guy with a big old collar around his neck, and they had two big old chains tied. And every time I passed that bull was standing in the same place all the time. They had him confined in the middle of the field. You say, well, I don't know what they did. The rest of the time I'd pass through and pass back. Maybe they had a corral for him or something like that. But when I would see him there, I knew that guy wasn't going to get out. Probably why? Because these guys have, and Kathleen will tell you, they love jumping fences, walking through fences. Once they get their head out of the fence, most of the time they're gone. 5 strands instead of 4. But that's just, if there is imposed on him a sum of money, then he shall pay to redeem his life. You say, well, because the ox killed somebody, the owner's going to be put to death? Wait, we go to the Judges. In fact, there's a whole book about Judges. And they're going to refer to Exodus, Leviticus, and all the, if there is imposed on him, say, well, hey, man, okay, it's death for you, buddy. You knew about that ox? Well, can we go to the Judges? Yeah, we're going to impose a sum. You can redeem your life, but you have to redeem your life only on whatever is imposed on him by the judges. And we will get into the book of Leviticus, and there will be more, unveiling of the law. Whether it has gored a son or gored a daughter according to this judgment, it shall be done to him. Even if it's gored your own son, your bull, or your daughter or your son or something like that, according to this judgment, it shall be done to him. Go before the judges, redeem his life of the owner, the life of the owner. If the ox gores a male or female servant, he shall give to their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Verse 33, moving on. Do I have a song coming? Do I have a song coming up? Do I have a song coming? Somebody save me with a song. No, not for a minute or two. If a man opens a pit, or if a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. What are you doing playing around with your backhoe anyway and not covering it up after you finish? Well, I was just learning how to dig, and I forgot. It got kind of late on me, and I got... Wait. If a man opens a pit or digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. He shall give money to their owner, but the dead animal shall be his. Kind of like barbecue time, eh? That's what I found out about that one.
There is a fountain filled with blood drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains, lose all their guilty stains, lose all their guilty stains, and sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains. The dying thief rejoiced to see that fountain in his day, and there may I, though while as he wash all my sins away, wash all my sins away. Since by faith I saw the stream, thy flowing wounds sublime, redeeming love has been my theme, and shall be till I die, and shall be till I die, and shall be till I die. Redeeming love has been my theme, and shall be till I die. Wash all my sins away. Wash all my sins away. Redeeming love has been my theme, and shall be till I die.
That was Selah here at 30 minutes after the hour. There is a fountain. 29 degrees, the current temperature, humidity at 56%. Sunny today, high near 72. Light and variable wind this morning, becoming west 10 to 15 later in the day tomorrow. Mostly sunny, high near 74 degrees. Man, that's almost June weather. North wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then Sunday, 73 degrees. Ooh, cooling off from 74 to 73 on Sunday with sunny skies. West wind 5 to 10, increasing 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Did you hear about the kid? They found him with a martini in his lunchbox. No, it was an apple juice. It was a martini. I thought you'd love that, and I just thought I'd throw it out there for you this morning. You say, you are kidding. Nope, I am not kidding you. All I'm doing is just reading the headlines. So, if a man opens a pit, if a man digs a pit, does not cover it, ox or donkey falls in it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. He shall give money to their owner, but the dead animal shall be his. You just bought yourself an animal. Really? Yeah, a dead one. Why? Why? Because you didn't cover your pit. Okay? The owner of the pit shall make it good. Okay? All of a sudden, and we go retail. We don't go wholesale when that happens. Just, that's my own addition to it. Okay? There are a lot of additions I'm putting into it. You got to know when. If a man's ox hurts another's, so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money from it, and the dead ox they shall also divide. Okay? Anybody want half a cow? Bring your money. If one man's ox, what do we got? You take care of your animals. Take care of your fences. They weren't going to have fences in the wilderness. That's what I started talking about, as we got into. A lot of this is going to pertain once they get into Canaan land. I don't think they're going to have time, even with the amount of weeks that they spend around Mount Sinai, to make fences or corrals or whatever you call them, Or if it was known that the ox tended to thrust in times past and its owner has not kept it confined, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead animal shall be his own. Okay? He knew it, didn't do anything about it, and shouldn't have been watching football on Sundays. Verse 1, chapter 22. If a man steals an ox or sheep, wait a minute. We talked to chapter 20 about thou shalt not steal. Oh, yeah, sure we did. How's this all work out? If a man steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters it or sells it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. Okay? So some seedy character comes around, steals one of your cows or one of your sheep, slaughters it or sells it, it's 5 for 1 if it's an ox, a cattle, and 4 for 1 for a sheep. You say, that's expensive. Yeah, that's why you don't do it, because it's expensive. Why are you stealing? If you got enough to pay the guy, why would you do it anyway? Come on, let's think a little bit here. Let's be proactive, instead of reactive. See, and nobody's giving me anything, no comments. See, all of you guys just leaving me out dry on my own. When we have committed to go verse by verse, cover to cover on the Bible, we're going to do it. You say, well, this is old stuff, and this is from a long... Oh, let's talk just a little bit about conscience. What this type of revelation that we're talking about, it should sharpen your conscience, knowing that there are penalties. Oh, but there's penalties, ladies and gentlemen. There's penalties in the kingdom. We think everything is just the sweet by and by. We think everything, well, I went to the altar and I repeated and they said and I got and I'm okay. That's just the beginning. That's the ABCs. Where's the LMNOPs in your life? We have responsibility. We also have a conscience. And these people are in covenant with God. The males have been circumcised. As a sign of their covenant, we have a circumcision of our heart. And our conscience becomes alive when we're born again. And conscience is important. That little, I think there was a song one time. I don't know if it was by, I don't think it wasn't by Mercy Me, even though there's a very good movie out about Mercy Me. And if you want to watch Mercy Me 2, you should watch Mercy Me 1 before you go watch Mercy Me 2 in the theater. That'll help you out a lot. But there was a song one time that conscience is a little circuit breaker in your mind and in your heart, telling you yes or no. You want to get out of control? Or do you like somebody getting out of control against you? If a man steals an oxen or sheep and slaughters it or sells it, he restores it 5 times over or 4 times over. If the thief is found breaking in and he is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt for his bloodshed. If a guy's breaking in, okay, and you're protecting your property, your family, and he dies, you're not guilty for his death. He shouldn't have been there to begin with. Is that plain enough? Now, if the sun has risen on him, there shall be guilt for his bloodshed. Whose guilt? The guilt of the guy who knocked him over the head, or guilt of the thief? The guilt of the thief. He should make full restitution if he hasn't. So if he does, okay, he got away with it just for a little while. The sun has risen on him. Oh, he's back trying to sand off the I don't know, Kathleen. Once the brand is there, you if the sun has risen on him, there shall be guilt for his bloodshed. So he thought he got away with it. There he is at home. He's trying to, put his brand over the other brand or something like that. Good morning, Andrea. There shall be guilt for his bloodshed. He should make full restitution. If he has nothing, then he's going to be sold for his theft. That's where the servitude came in. Okay. If the theft is certainly found alive in his hand, whether it is ox or donkey or sheep, he shall restore double. It's easier to go to chapter 20 and to memorize thou shalt not steal and put it in your conscience than to have to go through all this thing, whether they're going to crack you over the head, whether they're going to kill you at night, or you're going to think you get away with it throughout the day. How about we just don't do it to begin with? If the theft is certainly found alive in his hand, verse 4, we read already, whether it's an ox or a donkey, he shall restore double. How do you like that, sir? Now we're getting comments. Fool. Joe, I didn't know where you come up with some of these things sometimes. Okay? Yeah, Joe has on the Facebook comment section, full restitution. Okay? Full restitution, he is FOOL. Yeah, the restitution of a fool is what it is. And then Leroy says, in Texas, you just drag them into your house. Good morning to you guys, too. Finally, somebody's helping me out here a little bit. Soften it up a little bit. Well, these are just rules and laws. Oh, yeah, you want rules and laws, or you don't want them. Okay, if a man causes a field or vineyard to be grazed and lets loose his animal and it feeds on another man's field, he shall make restitution from the best of his own field and the best of his own vineyard. Well, I just haven't had time to fix that fence, and my cattle just, they kind of ate some of your. Yeah, okay. Well, let's pull out the rule book. Depends on what side of the fence you're on, whether you like it or not. If a man causes a field or vineyard to be grazed, lets loose his animal, it feeds in another man's field. They don't have fields yet. They're in the wilderness, but they're going to get into Canaan land, and they're going to have fields and houses and animals and people trying to break in at night, I guess. He shall make restitution from the best of his own field. Oh, no, dude. No, not over there on the lower 40s. We want to be up over there where the lush pasture is at. Make restitution. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that stacked grain, standing grain, or the field is consumed, he who kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. Here's another thought from your early morning DJ. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that it's easier to have the penalty already written out ahead of time than after. And that's what God is going. See, what have these people said? Moses, whatever he says, we will do. You just go find it out. Just tell him not to talk to us. We can't bear the sound of his voice. It's too convicting to us. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, well, I was just cleaning out the ditch. Anybody been there before? And catches in thorns, and then it just got away on me. Oh, I've been there before. If fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that stacked grain, standing grain, or the field is consumed, he who kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. You burn a dozen bales, man. Your fire got away from you. Well, okay, I'll go buy you a dozen bales. And we'll throw in a baker's dozen just because. I don't want to have a problem with my neighbors. Ooh, we don't want to have problems with our neighbors. We want everybody to get along. Now, there's a choice. If a man delivers to his neighbor money or articles to keep, and it is stolen out of the man's house, if the thief is found, he shall pay double. Okay, so you said, hold this for me. Okay, would you please hold this for me for this particular purpose? And then somebody broke into my house and stole your stuff. If the thief is found out, the thief has to pay double. If the thief is not found, he was a pretty good thief, I guess. Then the master of the house shall be brought to the judges to see whether he has put his hand into his neighbor's goods. They broke into his house, and he was going to take care of my XYZ and whatever else. And well, let's see if somebody really stole it. Who's the real thief over here? Let's bring him in front of the judges and let's find out. Raise your right hand and put what do you put? One hand on raise the right, put your left hand on the Bible, something like that. I don't want to. Conscience. For any kind of trespass, verse 9, whether it concerns an ox, a donkey, a sheep, or clothing, or for any kind of lost thing which another claims to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges. Any kind of trespass. whether it concerns an ox, a donkey, a sheep, clothing, or for any kind of lost thing which another claims to be his. The cause of both parties shall come before the judges. And whomever the judges condemn shall pay double to his neighbor. Thou shalt not covet. Notice how we're seeing some a little opening of the revelation when it comes down to the Big Ted. Now we see how this is all going to work out. Thou shalt not covet. Well, I painted over it. Busted and disgusted. Okay, pay him double. If a man delivers to his neighbor a donkey, an ox, a sheep, or any other animal to keep, and it dies, is hurt or driven away, and no one seeing it, then an oath of the Lord Yahweh shall be between them both. This has everything to do with how sharp your conscience is. That he has not put his hand into his neighbor's good, and the owner of it shall accept that, and he shall not make it good. Okay, so I gave you something to take care of for me. This time it's me giving you, not you giving me. I got to be on the other side once in a while. Please let me. Okay? And I come home from vacation, and I say, okay. He says, well, guess what, neighbor? No. Okay? Let's go before the judges. Let's make an oath. You and I, before the judges, makes an oath to Yahweh. Okay? And he has not put his hand into his neighbor's good. The owner shall accept it, and he shall not make it good. I did, sir, and I swear I didn't do it. And I'm going to swear on the Bible. Well, he's a pretty good man. And he wouldn't swear on the Bible if he didn't do it. But if, in fact, it is stolen from him, he shall make restitution to the owner of it. I'll let my brother-in-law come and get it, but I don't tell nobody, and we're going to sell it. We're going to split the difference. If it is torn to pieces by a beast, then hell shall bring it as evidence, and he shall not make good what was torn. Yep, the wolves came in, the coyotes came in, and they ate 3 of mine and 2 of his. Okay, well, bring the evidence, man. Show us. State your case. If a man borrows anything from his neighbor, and it becomes injured or dies, the owner of it shall not, being with it, he shall surely make it good. If a man borrows anything from his neighbor, and it becomes injured or dies, has to be livestock again, the owner of it not being with it, he shall surely make it good. You borrowed it, you bought it. If its owner was with it, he shall not make it good. If it was hired, it came for hire. You were there. You should be, we were working together on that. See, man, these are tough things. No, they're not that tough. A lot of this is just common sense. But our conscience has to be brought to life. If a man entices a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall surely pay the bride price for her to be his wife. Do I have to explain that? Okay? If a man, now men don't do this, okay? So this is something that's just way isolated out over there. So, don't, but we got to cover it because it's in the Bible. If a man entices a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall surely pay the bride price for her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, I don't blame daddy for not wanting to give him. He's going to entice. He shall pay money according to the bride price of virgins. I don't know what the bride price is, and I didn't look it up on the commentary section to find out how much he's going to owe and how they determine what the price for a bride is. But dirty old man, you shouldn't have done it to begin with. You shall not permit a sorceress to live. Huh. Tell Saul that. King Saul, tell him that. Because King Saul, didn't he make a law against it? And then when he was in one of his hissy fits, he's going to the sorceress's house. Sister Rosa, yeah, over there with the crystal ball. You shall not permit a sorceress, Pehuaque, New Mexico, a few years ago. Okay, decades. You shall not permit a sorceress to live. You don't want that. You don't want that type of idolatry. Sorcery. I want to tell you something about sorcery, but I'll wait till Sunday. You can look up the word sorcery on your own. What is sorcery all about? Verse 19, whoever lies with an animal shall surely be put to death. Mama, what does that mean? Just go get your lunch and don't put a martini in and get ready for school. What's he talking? Whoever lies with an animal shall surely be put to death. These days, it's not the kid asking the mom, it's the mom asking the kid, what's he talking about? Mom, you just get breakfast ready. He who sacrifices to any god. Didn't we talk about idolatry at the beginning? Is this just an expansion of the New Testament of the Ten Commandments? He who sacrifices to any god except to Yahweh only shall be utterly destroyed. You shall neither mistreat a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Okay, now, verse 21. You shall neither mistreat a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Right now, today, there is a controversy between two big American preachers, because one preacher is pulling out a scripture like this and saying, we have been violating this in the United States of America. And another preacher is saying, no, that's not what it's talking about. Because we're dealing here in America with immigration. So are we mistreating a stranger? Are we oppressing a stranger? Well, one guy says yes, the other one says, wait a minute. If you really read in the mouth of two or three witnesses, you're going to find out that it's the stranger that wants to live amongst you and has to come unto covenant. He has to be come under he has to become a Hebrew. There was a way of them becoming a Hebrew. Does he just want to have his, bring, or does he just want to be who he was from where he was and bring his idols in? Or does he want to come underneath the covenant of Israel? And that's the sound. Okay, so that's just something that we were talking about. And I lost sound, and I was in the middle of something really, really good. So on you KLYN people, why does it come out now? Why is it coming out? Is it there or not? Why is that working that way? Looks like we do have sound on Facebook and YouTube, and I don't know why it lost for a little while. I'm sorry, George. I don't know what happened there. Maybe my equipment. No, I don't think it's you. Anyway. He who sacrifices to any god except to the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Thou shalt not have any gods before me. That's at the top of the list. Okay. Verse 22, you shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. Notice how I already commented on verse 21, and then I jumped right over it. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any way, and they cry at all to me, Yahweh, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will become hot. The defenseless, you have no business taking advantage of the defenseless. That's what this is talking about. A widow or a fatherless child, if you afflict them in any way, they cry at all to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will become hot. I will kill you with the sword. Your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. Take that. See how you like that. Huh. If you lend money to any of my people who are poor among you, you shall not be like a moneylender to him. You shall not charge him interest. You lend money to a poor person, he says, don't charge him interest. Let's be nice to one another. Hopefully he pays you back. You know, that's another one. If you overtake your neighbor's garment as a pledge, you shall return it to him before the sun goes down. He needs to cover himself. That's his blanket. The garment was not only something that he would wear to keep himself warm during the day, but that would be his blanket at night. Return it to him before the sun goes down. For that is his covering. It is his garment for his skin. What will he sleep in? And it will be that when he cries to me, I will hear, for I am gracious. You shall not revile God, nor curse a ruler of your people. I think that's one that we need to learn. You should not curse a ruler of your people. Maybe we'll talk about that Monday. You shall not delay to offer the first of your ripe produce and your juices, the firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. What is that all about, Daddy? I'm not sure what that one's all about. Well, we just read it for what it is. What does it say? You shall not delay to offer the firstborn of your ripe, the first of your ripe produce and your juices. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. The first belongs to God. Likewise you shall do with your oxen, your sheep. It shall be with its mother 7 days, and the 8th day you shall give it to me. You shall be holy men to me. The first belongs to God. Verse 31 says, and you shall be holy men to me. You shall not eat meat torn by beasts in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. Now, God deserves the first. This is something that we don't understand. Many times we offer God the leftovers. You shall not delay to offer the first of your ripe produce and your juices. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. And there was a redemption process for the son. We talked about that earlier in. Okay? They could redeem them. Okay? Likewise you shall do with your oxen and your sheep. It shall be with its mother 7 days. On the 8th day you shall give it to me. And let's finish off this chapter, and we shall get into chapter 23 on Monday. You shall be holy men to me. You shall not eat meat torn by beasts in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. So I guess probably Monday we won't talk too much about verse 29 and 30, but I think it's essential that you understand what that's talking about. So God bless you all. See you later. It's Fernando Ortega in the background. I will sing of my Redeemer. Oh, don't forget One View. If you're close around tonight, One View tonight, 6 o'clock.